أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي أما بعد. We begin by praising Allah Azza wa Jal, Lord of the Alameen, which is mankind, jinn and everything that exists, and we bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is his slave and his messenger. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So inshallah this topic is it's a different topic, but it's building on inshallah from the other talks, especially this Monday, the reliance on Allah Azza wa Jal talk. So when it comes to the reliance of Allah Azza wa Jal, reliance upon Allah Azza wa Jal, one of the number one ways which you can rely upon Allah Azza wa Jal is this topic. So there was a sheikh from, I think from Saudi. He was going to, I don't know which country, anyway, he had a stop off in Egypt. He had a stop off in Egypt. And he calls an imam there in that country and he tells him, listen, look, I've got I forgot, transit is it? Transit? Yeah? You transit, is that what it's called? When you stop in a country, then the next day, for example, you catch another flight, you continue? Transit, yeah? So he stops in Egypt, he calls up the sheikh and tells him, look, I'm going to arrive very late, and it's not till the next morning or afternoon that I'm going to continue my flight. Can you leave the mosque open for me at night? So I can come in, pray a few rak'at and stay in the mosque till the morning. So the sheikh leaves the door, tells him yes, he leaves the door open for him that night. He arrives late, he enters the mosque and he finds all the lights on. And he sees a man in sujood behind one of the pillars crying so profusely and calling out to Allah Azza wa Jalla in a weird way. So he was saying, Ya Allah, enough. Ya Allah, enough. Ya Rabb, all the doors have been slammed shut. Ya Allah, I've got no one but you, Ya Allah. Why have you forsaken me, Ya Rabb? This is what this man is saying. Why don't you hear my cry, Ya Allah? So the sheikh is standing there. He's baffled at what he's saying, but he's also a bit strange. What's going on? Why is he speaking like that to Allah Azza wa Jalla? Then he realizes the crying and the calling of this man is not the call of someone who's a sinner, someone whose heart is black and is repenting, but rather of someone who is in need. So the sheikh waits till this man finishes and then he approaches him. He hugs him and he tells him, oh my brother, why are you making dua like this? You broke my heart. It's such a sincere dua, but why are you speaking to Allah Azza wa Jalla in this way? The sheikh replies, Ya Sheikh. The man replies, Ya Sheikh, my wife has an operation at 9 a.m. in the morning that costs 15,400 Egyptian pounds. He goes, and wallahi, I don't have a single pound in my pocket. He said, this sickness has been developing for a while until it reached a point where she must have this operation. He said, I delayed her operation again and again and again while I went from organization to organization, charity to charity, family member to family member, relative to friend to neighbor, and no one gave me a single pound. He said, until I could no longer delay this operation anymore, and I had to book it. Come this night, I found myself, after Isha, walking through the streets like a majnoon, like a crazy person, not knowing what to do, until I found the doors of this mosque open. So I walked in and I threw myself into dua to the king. The sheikh looked at him and he says, wallahi, I have nothing to help you with other than to tell you to keep making dua to Allah, for surely He hears you and He will never reject you. So the sheikh prays a couple of rak'at, he goes to sleep in the corner of the mosque, and in the morning the imam gets him to lead the prayer. After the prayer, he gives salam, he looks back, and a man rushes from the second line of the salat, the second row of musallin, and he rushes straight for the sheikh. He hugs him and he tells him that he had just bought a unit upstairs 3 months ago, and that he always follows his talks on TV. his lectures, his series on TV. He said, when I heard your voice leading the prayer from the 3rd floor, he said, I rushed down to meet you and to speak to you because I have a question. He goes, he goes, I'm a very successful businessman. I have a very large factory and I've gathered my zakat a long time ago. Every day I leave my house, my wife tells me, pay your zakat, and I tell her, no, I don't want to pay it by bit to little to a person here and a person there. I want to pay it all at once to something major. So the Shaykh asked him, how much is your zakat? How much does he say? 15,400 Egyptian pounds. The Shaykh said, I had to hold back my tears. And instead of telling him what had happened, he looked for the man that was crying and praying at night. He found him in the corner of the 1st row. So this man couldn't have heard what was happening. He calls him forward, and the man comes forward. He goes, you were crying last night, you had an issue, what was your issue? And the guy got stunned and agitated. Yani, all that explanation and all that crying and all that prayer, and you forgot. But the Shaykh is trying to get him to say the story to the other man. So he tells him, I told you my wife, she needs an operation, it's 15,400 pounds, it's in 2 hours, 3 hours at 9 a.m. As soon as he said that number, the other guy who came down with his zakat burst into tears. And then they started hugging each other, and everyone around them started crying, watching them cry and hug each other, and they didn't even know each other. Subhanallah, how Allah Azza wa Jal. Like what, come on. What's the chances of him walking past that mosque at that time of night, that mosque, that specific night being opened for that Shaykh, and the person who's going to save this man's wife's life to that operation is in the 3rd floor of that building. Subhanallah. Dua is the topic today. Dua is the fortress of a believer. You know what a fortress is? A fortress is something that defends you from all harm and also gives you an advantage when you attack. Isn't that right? High ground, you can prepare inside of your fort the oil and the whatever it is and whatever weapons you need. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, I find this hadith to be amazing. Let's see if you pick it up. So I'm going to say the hadith. Someone let me know if you pick up why it's amazing. It's actually a very simple hadith. You probably won't recognize what's so amazing about it. The Prophet ﷺ said 4 words. Dua is the worship. Dua is the worship. What's so well about that? Who can tell me? You know? Alright, what's amazing in that sentence? What's weird? There's something seems out of place, yeah? I said dua is the worship. What's it supposed to be normally?
Dua is worship.
It was
Is a form of worship.
Right? Normally, salah is a form of worship. Zakah is a form of worship. Hajj is a form of worship. Here the Prophet ﷺ is saying dua is the worship. Dua is the worship. Yani all worship is encompassed under dua. All worship is encompassed under dua. Dua is the head, and every other worship comes under dua. Isn't that amazing? You know what salah means in the Arabic language? Anyone? Salah, what does it mean?
Horse racing.
Salah? Hello, we'll have a chat outside behind the center. Salah means dua. Salah in the Arabic language means dua. That's what it actually means. But in our mustalah, in our jargon, in the Sharia, it means those 4 rakat or those 2 rakat. But in the actual Arabic language, salah means dua. Even the Christians, they say, when they say salat, what does he mean? He means dua. Isn't that amazing? My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, dua is my admission that Allah is my Lord. Even the atheist, put him on that ship and let those waves crash. Wallah, he'll make dua to every God he's ever heard of in his life. Let that plane shake a little bit and watch him squeal to every single God he's ever heard of. Dua is aqidah. Dua is actually our belief. When you turn to Allah in dua, you're acknowledging that He's your Lord. You're acknowledging that all power and all might is in His hands, not mine. Dua is my admission that nothing can be done without Him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Dua is my admission that I need Him and He needs no one. Wallahi, if the whole world is in the water here, not just this group here in the mosque, wallahi, if the whole world got together to let one drop of that water enter my mouth and Allah hadn't written it, it couldn't come. And if the whole world got together to take it away from me and Allah hadn't written it, they couldn't take it away. Dua is a lot more than whether Allah Azza wa Jal answered me or not. It doesn't matter, who cares? It's that belief in Allah Azza wa Jal, that acknowledgement of Allah Azza wa Jal, that sort of iman that gives you peace of heart, of mind. It makes your heart at ease. It relieves your stress. It gives you happiness, tranquility, security, rest, repose, contentment in your heart. Wallahi, it's much more than whether Allah Azza wa Jal answers me or not. There's an athar, and I'm not going to mention who says it because there's different narrations that I read. It's not a hadith of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It's an athar of the Sahaba or the Tabi'een. So he says, if I used to make dua, if Allah answered my dua, I used to get happy once. If Allah didn't answer my dua, I used to get happy 10 times. They go, why? He said, because the first one was my choice, the second one was the choice of Allah. The first one was my choice. Allah answered me depending on what I wanted. The second one was what Allah wanted. Shouldn't I be more happy and more content with what Allah wants for me than what I want for myself? Listen to this dua of Rasulullah, of this hadith of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Again, very, 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 very amazing. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, there is nothing dearer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than dua. I'll repeat that and I want you to think about it for a second. There is nothing dearer, more expensive, more valuable. There is nothing dearer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than dua. My dear brothers and sisters, does that even make sense? Why would Allah Azza wa Jal make dua or want dua? Have you ever questioned why, Ya Rabb? Why? You don't need anything. You don't need anyone. You are not benefited or harmed in any way, shape or form. Wallahi, if I lived a life of absolute happiness, it does not increase Allah nothing. And if I lived a life of absolute misery, it doesn't harm or benefit Allah in any way, shape or form. Why then? Why, Ya Allah, then is it so dear to you? Why did you make dua so dear to you? And the answer is simple. Because it's dear to me and you. Only for me and you. Only for mine and your sake. That's why it's dear to Allah. For mine and your sake, because we need Him. Subhanak Ya Rabb. The sad thing is, subhanAllah, we don't turn to Allah Azza wa Jal until we've exhausted every other option, every other avenue. How many times do you hear it? I'm in a bit of financial debt. Do I increase my istighfar? Then Allah Azza wa Jal say, قُلْ تُسْتَغْفِرُوا رَبَّكُمْ إِنَّهُ كَانَ غَفَّارًا يُرْسِلِ السَّمَاءَ عَلَيْكُمْ. We know the ayat, right? Allah will give you work. What do? Do I turn to Allah and ask Him, Ya Allah, there's ad'i. The Prophet ﷺ used to say it himself. اللهم اغنني بحلالك عن حرامك وبفضلك عمن سواك. غنيني, يعني Ya Allah, let me enrich me in your generosity and then let me turn to no one else. Do I turn to the dua? No. I'll ask my dad, my brother, my friend, my wife, my co-worker. When no one can lend me, Ya Allah. I'm not saying don't ask the means. أعكم وتوكل. But turn to the Creator before you turn to the creation. I've got a headache. Straight, bang, bolting to what? The medicine cabinet. Take the Panadol, but ask Allah Azza wa Jal, ask the Creator. Why? I'll tell you why. And be honest with yourself for a second. If someone calls you only when he needs you, would you continue answering his call? That's why the ulama, they say, ask Allah in times of ease and He'll respond to you in times of hardship. Ask Allah in times of ease and He'll respond to you in times of hardship. Ayub, would you rather get sick and Allah cure you? Or would you rather not getting sick in the first place? He said he doesn't want to get sick in the first place, right? Prevention is better than a cure. Prevention is better than a cure. Why get sick and then get a cure? Prevention is better than a cure, right? My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, the Prophet ﷺ told us the supplication, the dua, benefits against that which strikes and that which does not strike. That which befalls you and that which didn't even hit you or befall you in the first place. So hold fast, O worshippers of Allah, to the dua, to the supplication. So my question is, if prevention is better than a cure, and here the Prophet ﷺ is saying dua works against that which hit you, the calamity that befell you, and the calamity that didn't befall you. So Allah could relieve you from a calamity that has already befallen you, or you could make dua and Allah won't let that calamity befall you in the first place. Which one would you rather? So why are we leaving dua? Why wait till the calamity befalls us and then we're in a state of absolute hardship and pain and agony and worry for I don't know how long, weeks, months, years, until Allah Azza wa Jal answers my dua and relieves it. Let me make dua before that and not let the calamity befall me in the first place. So why am we turning to dua? Why am I being stingy with that which, does it please or anger Allah when we make dua? Does it please Him or anger Him? Isn't that amazing? Now I've got people that I went to university with. I've got them here on my phone. If I open up one of the messages now, you'll see one of them in dire need. These are mashayikh who went with me to university. I haven't opened his message maybe 2-3 days now. Why? And the bloke keeps asking me. He's not asking me for anything, but he keeps telling me about what's happening. His life is really difficult. Wallahi, he is very deserving of not just sadaqah, even zakat. Yeah? But when you ask someone again and again and again and again, what happens to Bani Adam? What do we do? What happens? We get angry, we get agitated. Like, leave me alone for a bit. Like, Wallahi, I know you need, but just like leave me in my own problems for a second. Allah Azza wa Jalla is exactly the opposite. The Prophet ﷺ said, indeed, he who does not ask Allah, Allah gets angry with you. The exact opposite. If you don't ask Allah, He gets angry with you. If you don't ask Allah, that's when He gets angry with you. Not if you ask Him. We said dua is the worship. When you ask Allah, it's like you're worshipping Him. The Prophet ﷺ says, whoever Allah opens the door of dua for him, will have the doors of mercy opened upon him. I'm going to continue the hadith, and this is another portion which is mind-blowing. I'll repeat that part. Whenever Allah opens the door of dua for him, will have the doors of mercy opened for him. Then look what he says. And Allah is not asked for anything more beloved to him than being asked for al-afiyah. Al-afiyah, good health. Same thing as the last dua, last hadith. Allah Azza wa Jal, nothing is more beloved to Him that you could ask for than al-afiyah. Like, why, Ya Rabb? Is Allah Azza wa Jal benefited or harmed if I'm sick? It makes no difference to Allah. Yet nothing, he loves being asked for nothing more than al-afiyah. Again, for mine and your sake only. He's not benefited or harm. One of the an old man from Saudi, normal man, simple man, well off, but simple, down to earth. He gets sick and half his body gets paralyzed. He goes to doctor after doctor, scan after scan, test after test. He literally travels to London, to America, tries different treatments, several years in a wheelchair, and he can't find a cure. One day he's sitting down at home watching TV and he sees the people doing tawaf around the Kaaba. He goes, I asked the creation, I didn't ask the creator. So he tells his kids, I want to go and visit the king. This is Saudi, there's kings and princes and battikh and I don't know what else. So what did his kids think? He's going to see some prince or some king in Saudi. No, yeah, father, you're too sick, you're too old, you're too this, you're too that. How are you going to go? How are you going to come? Which prince is it? What king do you want to see? So on and so forth. The father was adamant. He goes, I want to go see the king of kings in his house. And I want to ask him what I need. And I'm 100% sure that he won't leave me without fulfilling my needs. So they take him to the Kaaba. They go down into the plate, the sahan, the plate around the Kaaba, not on the levels on the plate. He tells his kids, leave me here and go. So they left him there and they went. And this is what he said. He goes, Wallahi, I sat in the plate of the Kaaba, the house of the king, the owner, the giver and the taker. And I began to scream. Wallahi, I began to scream and cry for a whole hour with only two statements. Listen to what he said. He said, Ya Malik, O King of Kings, I'm in your house. Wallahi, I will not leave from your house except on my feet or on my back. Wallahi, I will either return home from here on my feet or to the graveyard on my back. And he kept crying and screaming and repeating the same dua again and again and again and again, broken and downtrodden, begging and pleading until he was so tired that he fell asleep. He falls asleep and he hears a voice calling out to him, get up and walk, 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 get up and walk. The voice was so, it startled him, he jumped up and he walked straight to the Kaaba. It was only when he got to the Kaaba that he realized, hold on, I was paralyzed. When he realized, he grabbed on to the Kaaba and he screamed, Ya Malik, truly, verily, indeed, you have never let down the one who truly turns to you and the one who gives over his affairs to you. The dua, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. You know what the opposite is? The opposite is not making dua. You know what the person who does not make dua, what the Quran says about him, or that characteristic? Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the Quran, قَالَ رَبُّكُمْ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبْ لَكُمْ إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. Allahu Akbar. And your Lord says, call upon me and I will respond to you. Indeed, those who disdain, who scorn, who turn away from my worship will enter hellfire disgraced. You know what worship the ulama said Allah was referring to here in this, turning away from his worship? They said it was the one who was too proud and arrogant to make dua in his ruku' and his sujood. I repeat it again. And your Lord said, call upon me and I will respond to you. The same verse. He continues to say, indeed those who do not, who disdain, who scorn, who turn away from my worship, we said the dua is the worship, will enter hellfire disgraced. And that's what it is, right? Why would a person not turn to Allah in dua? Because he's too proud and arrogant to turn to someone else for help. To acknowledge Allah Azza wa Jal has all power and He can do nothing. People don't like to acknowledge that nothing's in their control. So why are we not making dua? Why are we not turning to Allah? Do we think ourselves self-sufficient? Ya Rab, sit this one out. I'll take control. Astaghfirullah Azim. Don't worry about it, I can do it. A'udhu billah. The Prophet ﷺ said the most crippled of people, ajiz, or a'jaz al-nas. You know what ajiz is? You know, they call the old man ajuz. Why? Because he can no longer do the things he used to. He's unable, he's incapable of doing these things. The Prophet ﷺ said, a'jaz al-nas, the most crippled of people are those who are too incompetent to make dua. Look, it's right there. Allah is telling you, call to me and I'll answer you. How incompetent must you be for your solution to be right here and you can't do it? The most crippled of people are those who are too incompetent to make dua. My dear brothers and sisters, I don't want to take long like Monday right up to Aisha 1 minute before. What, you want me to go that long? Everyone went quiet. Keep going, man. I usually don't want to go home and come back to Aisha. It's very simple, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. We all have problems in our life. We all have problems in our life. You see, the fool is the person, and I mean this, the fool is the person who thinks, once I'm over this problem, things will be easy. Man, you're so wrong. That's not our deen, that's not our iman. In Islam, we believe that this whole life from beginning to end is a test. The test will never stop. You got teenagers, once I get out of the house, inshallah, then I'll be... No, Habibi, once you get out of the house, whatever issues you had at home will be replaced with something else. Once I'll get married, I'll be alright. No, Habibi, once you get married, that's when the problems are going to start. Once I get a job, no, Habibi, once you get a job, watch what's going to happen. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, wallahi, no matter what it is, cancer, read the shar, even if that goes, it'll be replaced with something else. That's what we believe as Muslims. Our lives from beginning to end, الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. The one who created life and death to test which of you is best in action. Beginning to end, all the way from the beginning of life, all the way till death. It's all a test. It will never stop. And wallahi, sometimes the test of him giving you things is worse and harder than the test of things taking things away. Am I wrong? I've got 5 grand. I'm not going to think of buying a house in riba, but I've made 50 grand from this job. Now I've got a deposit. Now what? Now I can go here, I can buy that, I can go there. Wallah, it starts off with just buying a boat and going out with the boys for fishing, and then it ends up something else. And then how many boys have we lost? How many brothers have we lost? How many sisters have we lost because of money? So Allah Azza wa Jalla giving us something sometimes is a bigger test than Him taking it away. We all have problems in our life and they'll never end. And I can guarantee you one thing. The only person who can help is Allah Azza wa Jalla. So turn to Allah Azza wa Jalla in dua. We all have issues, motivational issues. I've been in the deen, I've been in the da'wah for I don't know how long, I still can't get up for Fajr at the mosque. I still can't read Quran every single day. I still can't make the lessons, commit to the Sharia. I still can't. Turn to Allah Azza wa Jalla in dua. He's the only one that can make you steadfast. There's things I'm trying to achieve 5 and 10 and 15 years and I can't achieve my goals. I try again and again. Your answer is with dua to Allah Azza wa Jalla. I've got bad habits. 20, 30, 40, 50 years I'm still doing the same things. You know why? Because you didn't turn to Allah Azza wa Jalla with enough sincerity. Only Allah can remove those bad habits. I'm 40, I'm 50 years old, I'm still from movie to movie, from TV show to TV show, from social media. We've all got addictions. Things which our hearts are inclined towards, things we love. We stop and we start. We stop and we start. We try again and again and again. Promise and even oaths. How many times have you done it? Wallah, I'll never do it again. Yahlif. It's ruining my life. It's ruining my marriage. Wallahi, my kids are going straight to Jahannam because of the bad habits that I've raised them on. And I still can't let go of my addictions. Wallah, if I were to tell you the stories. That's because we didn't turn to Allah Azza wa Jal. We didn't beg Allah Azza wa Jal to help us overcome those addictions. We all have character flaws. One of us is too calm. He can never raise his kids right. Another one is too angry. He can never have a conversation. Anxiety, depression. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, your only answer is the dua. Don't you know anyone that's sick? Sometimes it's a terminal illness. Family members that are dying. Your only solution is dua. Don't you have people you care about that are important to you? I repeat that. Don't you have people that you care about that are important to you, that are so misguided, you can see where they're going? You've tried to talk to them again and again. You've called Fulan to speak to them. You've taken them here, you've taken them there. You've put time, effort, money on them. But you know, if you really cared for them, you'd make dua for Allah Azza wa Jal to guide them. Especially in the last third of the night. You have parents come in, Wallahi, I've tried everything. يحلف لك, Wallahi, I've tried everything. I don't know why he's coming to me if he's tried anything, but anyway, Wallahi, I've tried everything. Brother, have you got up in the last third of the night where Allah asks you what you want and asked Him for what you want? No. Then don't tell me you've tried it for everything. I've actually told parents, if you really cared about your kid, you'd get up in the middle of the night and you make dua for him. Because through that righteousness, Allah Azza wa Jalla will protect the kid, will guide the kid, will raise the kid on Iman. Am I wrong? We know the story of Khidr, right? وَكَانَ أَبُوهُمَا صَالِحًا. Allah Azza wa Jalla protected their inheritance that was under a broken down wall. Musa and Al-Khidr, a prophet, and if not a prophet, one of the greatest men who ever lived. The one who Allah gave the secrets of the wall to. Built the wall to save those kids' inheritance. Why? Allah Azza wa Jalla says because their father was righteous. The scholars of the past, one of the scholars, he used to come to his son and tell him, "Oh my son, I have increased my night prayers." Increased, and he already had night prayers, yeah? I have increased my night prayers so Allah can guide you. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, I'm going to ask you a question, and obviously I don't want anyone to answer, but I'm asking myself this question first. Are we not afraid that we might die a bad death? Someone here get a guarantee that, I'm set. When I die, I'm going to say the Shahada. It's going to be recorded, Kaman, and I'm going to go straight. Am I guaranteed to have a good end? And if you think you are, please tell me your secret. Wallah, the biggest of ulama, the biggest of companions, the biggest of tabi'een used to, wallahi, they couldn't sleep. They were too scared to sleep. They were too scared to sleep up at night. The Prophet ﷺ himself used to make the dua. Allahumma inni as'aluka husnul khatima. Allah, I ask you the best, a good end. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min su'il khatima. If we truly believe, and if we're true believers, and we fear a bad end, we're supposed to be in dua. There shouldn't be a prayer or a sunnah that passes except to ask Allah, Ya Allah, protect me from an evil end. Ya Allah, make sure I've got a good end. Don't we fear? Or don't we worry about how our death will go? Man, have you ever witnessed someone dying? I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. My uncle Ali, Allah yarhamu, Ali Bana, you saw what he did. It's still running till now. Man, the pain that he was going through for those 3 days, the faces he was making, The noises that were coming out of his mouth weren't human. I was standing over him thinking it's just another, he's went into the hospital 1,000 times. I just thought it was another time that he's in the hospital. I had my hand on his chest and I was reading the ad'iyah and the ayat for shifa, for a cure. But you know what, I'm going to be honest with you. You know what the only thing I was thinking of? The only thing I was thinking of while I was there was myself. What's going to happen to me when I die? If he did all that, and look at the pain he was going through, I'm telling you, it wasn't. Every time I see a picture come up on my phone, all I remember is his eyes back, all white, and him screaming. It wasn't even screaming, it wasn't human, the sounds. May Allah Azza wa Jalla have mercy on him and on us. If we fear the pains of death, the pains which made the Prophet ﷺ scream out, verily the pains, sakarat al-maut, verily the pains of death are severe, then make dua. If you fear the day of judgment, if you fear the day of judgment, the day the angels themselves, Prophet ﷺ mentioned there were angels from the second they created to the second they destroyed, they're in sujood. Their whole lives, their whole being, their whole creation, from beginning to end, they were in sujood. When they see the horrors of the day of judgment, they scream out, Ya Allah, we did not do justice in your worship. We should have done more. How could they have done more? Me and you are going to be there that day. If we fear the horrors of the day of judgment, make dua. Make dua now in the times of ease. So that when there's billions, trillions screaming out to Allah, Allah recognizes your voice. Allah answers your call. Allah protects you, sends you the shade, gives you the water, accepts the shafa'ah of Rasulullah for you. Don't we feel the sirat al-mustaqim? What do you think it's, khalas, I've heard that story 1,000 times. Brother, you know what we do that's wrong, what I find wrong? We call it a bridge. Brother, how can you call something you can't even see a bridge? How can you call something that's thinner than a hair and sharper than a sword? Can you even see that? You can't even see that with the light, let alone when there's pitch black darkness on that day. The hellfire that's under it is pitch black. And I cross it depending on how quick I was to answer or respond or obey the commands of Allah. How quick am I to respond, to answer, to obey the commands of Allah? If I fear that day, if I fear that so-called bridge, then make dua. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, don't we fear hellfire? When hellfire is dragged forward, what do I tell you? We read Surah Al-Mulk every night so we don't get punished in the grave. We didn't even mention the grave, leave the grave out of Allah. We read Surah Al-Mulk every night so we don't get punished in the grave, but we don't even realize what we're reading. There's 3 words. There's 3 words, just 3 words in that surah that should make your hair stand. That should make me and you not able to sleep at night. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, تَكَادُ تَمَيَّزُ Sorry, 4 words. تَكَادُ تَمَيَّزُ مِنَ الْغَيْبِ تَكَادُ, it almost. تَمَيَّزُ means to be torn up, to be destroyed, to be ripped apart. مِنَ الْغَيْبِ from its anger. Allahu Akbar. Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying hellfire almost tears its own self apart from its anger. At who? Who's it angry at? The one who disobeyed Allah Azza wa Jalla. When he explodes in anger, every single living creature, jinn, angels, animals, mankind, whatever it is, falls flat on their face. Me and you, Allah, will be there that day. Fall flat on our face in fear. We're not even in hellfire yet. Allahu Alam, hellfire, it is still. Just that sound it makes of anger when it sees the disbelievers, when it sees the sinners, it will make the prophets themselves fall flat on their face in fear. And we have to witness it. We have to see it. We have to hear it. If you fear that day, When that time comes, it's too late to remember. وَجِيءَ يَوْمَئِذٍ بِجَهَنَّمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَتَذَكَّرُ الْإِنسَانُ وَأَنَّى لَهُ الذِّكْرَى. That day when that hellfire is dragged forward, that's when he'll remember, far out, what did I do? Too late, brother, it means nothing. It's not going to benefit you in any way, shape or form, except by you knowing where you're going to go. So now in times of ease, make dua that Allah protect us from the hellfire. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, there's so much we need to make dua for. And even leave the akhirah out of it. And don't you see what's happening to the Muslims around the world? Man, forgive me, that dua doesn't it make your hair stand? He or she is not from us. Who? He or she is not from us. Who? The one who doesn't care about the state of the Muslims. Doesn't that make your hair stand? He or she is not from us. Who? Ya Rasulullah, the one who doesn't care about the affairs of the Muslims. And the least you could do is dua. The least you could do is dua. But wallahi, the world doesn't make sense. Wallahi, it's the biggest contradiction. And are we past World War II and World War I? Now we're living in the 21st century. There's concentration camps that hold more Muslims today than Hitler held Jews in the concentration camps. And the world is just continuing. Wallah, what's the new phone that's coming out so I can buy it? Look, have you seen the reports? Man, can you call the lucky ones are the ones who don't go in there? Can you call them lucky? Look, the ones that are outside are under more pressure. Sometimes the sisters that are forced to marry non-Muslim men. They're raped, beaten, kids taken away. Look, does it even make sense? Look, Australia is still giving back land to the Aborigines for what they did to them when they first came to this country. And in China and around the world, they're taking Muslim babies away and putting them with non-Muslims to raise them as non-Muslims, and the world's just continuing. And we can't even make dua. We can't even make dua. Burnt alive in Burma. Disappeared in Egypt. 1 million, 2 million. Don't even, mass graves. Yallah, in the millions, Muslims, for the past 50, 60 years. And we can't even make dua. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, wallahi, the only one that can help us is Allah Azza wa Jalla. No one else, nothing else. How long are we going to wait? How long are we going to keep turning to other than Allah to solve our problems, to give us comfort? Drugs, alcohol, women, entertainment. Wallahi, no matter how many times I say it's not enough. Entertainment. Let us turn to Allah Azza wa Jalla and make dua. Not for everyone else, for my own sake. Let me turn to Allah Azza wa Jalla and make dua for all these people who are suffering, so that Allah Azza wa Jalla in the akhirah, when we call out to Him, He doesn't say, just like you forsook them, I'm going to forsake you today. Make dua for your own sake. So in the akhirah, Allah Azza wa Jalla doesn't reject you like you rejected them. Doesn't turn His mercy away from you like you turned your mercy away from them. Doesn't turn His help away from you like you turned your help away from them. Make dua, my dear brothers and sisters, in times of ease, so that in the akhirah, in times of hardship, when we have no one other than Allah, He answers our call. I ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to make us of those who constantly turn to Him, who constantly make dua, who never leave a dua, not even a single sajda. I ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to make us of those who turn to Allah Azza wa Jalla in dua for ourselves and for the Muslims. And I ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to protect, to guide, to help our Muslim brothers and sisters around the world, and to bring back the honor of Islam. آمين. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك.
I wanna be in Jannah, Jannah, yeah. Jannah, Jannah. Every Muslim dreams to be up in Jannah, 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 Jannah. A pious person's destiny. Inshallah in Jannah, Jannah, Jannah.